Let's go, baby. Look at that. I mean, this thing has character for days now. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. You may remember this pretty little thing, the San Martin SN0144. And if you don't remember it, shame on you. Go watch the review on this video. After you finish watching this video, there's a link down in the description. But today, we're going to dress this guy up a little bit. It's a beautiful watch. I'm a big fan of it. Worn it a few times, getting along with it really well. But when it comes to bracelets, it's not exactly my thing. Now, I have a couple watches that I keep on bracelets for when I need to, toss something on and really not think about it at all, or beat something up. Sometimes you just need to grab and go. But I'm a huge fan of watches on straps. And one of the things that I get the most enjoyment out of, other than wearing and enjoying the watches in general, is when I get a new watch, I love designing, ordering, and getting a custom strap for that watch. And the custom strap for this watch just came in from our friends over at Handdn Bespoke Watch Straps. Okay, I don't know if they're friends or even friendly, but I've ordered twice from them and I've gotten both orders on time and everything was correct. So I'm assuming they're pretty decent people and you should probably check them out. Not a sponsored video. I paid for this with my hard-earned cash. So let's get into it and see what we got here. So this is not the first strap I've ever ordered from Handdn. This one is, and I ordered this strap to go with my Raymond Weil / Besquate freelancer chronograph. Besquate? Basquiat? At least I learned that you're supposed to pronounce the T. Somebody correct me down in the comments. But that watch came on this strap. And as you can see, that looks fine, but just fine. Now, I'm doing the little overlay thing. I'm not actually putting this strap back on the watch because I never want this watch on this strap again, because it's just a bit boring. And the Handdn strap, as you can see, largely fixed that. It was not boring at all. I really like this strap. It just so happens that the strap underneath that I got from Combat Straps, I like that strap a whole lot better. But while this might be slightly nicer quality, this is a gray Alcantara with the accent stitching, and it was made to fit onto the OEM buckle. This Handdn strap went really nice with this watch. You can see it's the gray suede, which fit really well. The blue contrast stitching to kind of bring out some of the blues and whatnot that are in this watch, specifically on the second hand and in the subdials. And then I went with the yellow painted edges to bring out those yellow hits. And then to account for the red, that's just kind of my little hidden, I know it's there, kind of a I know something you don't know part about this strap, which I really like about custom things. You can build in those little I know something you don't know details that aren't necessarily in your stock off the rack type of stuff. So this is a really nice quality strap, conformed to the wrist. These are the standard quick release spring bars. And this came with a stainless steel buckle, but that watch was a titanium case. So I sourced from good old eBay a titanium pin buckle to go with it. So it would be a material match. It's not exactly a finish match, but the material matches nicely and it doesn't clash. So this was phenomenal. This one from Combat Straps just happens to be perfect. So big fan of this. And this is the strap that this watch lives on. This is the strap that this watch is going to live on. So let's go ahead and get this thing open and see what we're working with. Before we open this up, let's take a second to go through the options. I'm just going to read them straight off the screen here because there's quite a few choices that they give you when it comes to ordering a bespoke watch strap. And this is all done online through Handdn. You don't have to go back and forth with anybody. It's literally research their materials. They have all sorts of pictures for you. Make your choices, order your strap, and you're good to go. If you want a little bit more one-on-one interaction, then maybe look at combat straps over at combat-straps.com. I've been very happy with their stuff as well. Okay, so this is a classic style strap that I went with, which means it's a two-piece. It's not a NATO or an aviator style, anything like that. The material I went with is a waxed Bordeaux. So it's a waxed leather in a Bordeaux color. The lining is Epsom in forest green. That was a $5 upcharge, but I wanted that kind of, Christmassy vibe going on, even if I'm the only one that's ever really going to see the underside of the watch. I did not go with curved ends on this one. And the measurements, I just went with kind of base standard measurements. So our lug width here is 21 millimeters to match the spec of the watch case. I hope that fits when we get it on there, because that's what the item listing from San Martin said the lug width was on this 42 millimeter version of the SN0144. Buckle width, so it'll taper down to 18 millimeters. Long end and short end is 125 and 85 millimeters. This is their large size. So when you're getting sizing, it's kind of a small, medium, large scale. I go with large. I'm a big guy, 8-inch wrist, and their large size seems to fit me really, really well. Much better than any kind of off-the-shelf straps. So I love that. I went with domed padding just to give it a little bit more structure. The thickness is the 3.5 tapering down to 2 millimeter thickness, which they list as their thick version on the thickness scale, but they have 5 different thicknesses, and the thick option that I chose is actually the third option. So it sits right in the middle on their thickness scale. Stitching on this is just your standard regular watch stitching. It's not vintage or anything like that, just regular old stitching. I went with a burgundy stitch because I didn't really want any contrasting stitching on this strap. I might regret that decision a little bit, but I'm not sure. I think the burgundy stitching is going to blend in and be just fine. Also went with dark red painted edges. So again, no contrast there, just trying to make the whole thing match with a really nice red vibe. It is a classic tip shape, so it's not going to be squared off or rounded, just kind of a classic watch strap tip. And then I went with the $5 upcharge for high quality quick release spring bars. They do normal quick release spring bars for free, but I hadn't seen their high quality version and I wanted to know what that was. So I paid the extra $5. The buckle is stainless steel to match the watch case, and the total price of this strap was $109 US. Okay, let's get this thing open and take a look at how it's going to fit onto and look on this watch. I'm looking forward to seeing how this this Bordeaux waxed leather looks in person. Handdn straps all come in these envelopes. Don't spec up and ask them to send you a box. These envelopes are actually really nice. Once you open the envelope, you got a nice little thank you note. Thank you from us to you. Contact information, QR code. Feel free to scan the QR code and see what that is, because I've never done it and I don't know what shows up. Little branded card with our thank you note. And then this is our watch strap. As you can see, we got our waxed Bordeaux leather, and on the underside, our forest green Epsom. Let's get this thing out of the package and see it without a plastic overlay, shall we? While that happens, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We've picked up some steam recently and we're building something here, so we'd appreciate it. Okay, this is a shiny finish. This is not like your matte finish leather that you may or may not be accustomed to. We have a much shinier finish here. And it's a little, I'm not going to say it's stiff. It's just new. It's been packaged flat. And it's brand new. Okay, so here is our high quality, upgraded quick release. And you can kind of see the difference there. All right, I can see the difference. The tab is a little different. Maybe the spring bars themselves will be a little more robust. Not 100% sure. But anybody who's out there making watch straps, come on, just make quick release spring bars standard, please. The ease of adjustability swapping out and changing straps is made so much better and so much easier when you include that stuff. I'm really digging this. This is going to dress this watch up a little bit in ways that I didn't exactly expect. I thought this was going to be a little bit more of a matte-ish type of finish, but the high gloss is a thing, and I think that thing is going to look good. And we went with the squared off. They have rounded and squared off pin buckles. I went with the squared off one, and this is a brushed seal finish, which should match the case quite nicely. Yes, it does. All right, let's get this bracelet off and get this on. Here, let's do a little before, and here we are. Well, if that is not a phenomenal color match, I don't know what is. It's not the exact red of the dial, but I like the character that this waxed leather gives us because the lighter areas do kind of match the center of the dial there, but the vast majority of the strap is a bit of a darker red, which matches the darker outer ring of the dial. It's a bit of a fume effect on this dial, so I like that the lighter inner part of the dial kind of gradiates out into a darker red, which then continues on now to the strap. And I can tell you, just by holding straps, this is going to be long enough for me. This feels longer than your standard strap. So big wristers unite. You can order a longer strap. And there's our hit of Christmas. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy on wrist and see how our custom strap has changed up the look of our watch. Oh, really quick, before we do that, I just want to say kind of a pro tip. When you are putting on a new strap, prior to doing that, I always kind of like working it in a little bit. This is leather. It can get stiff, especially when it's like pressed and packaged flat like that. So I like to give it a roll and then maybe a little bit backwards to see if we can get that padding to loosen up a little bit. With a leather like this, I'm not worried about it being pristine because the more, you know, if we add some crackle to it, it's just going to give us some more texture and some more character. And I really like that type of look. Okay, so now, yeah, like you can already tell this is way loosened up from what it was straight out of the envelope, especially with padded straps. It's good to do this. And if you don't want to add any extra, you know, crackle to the finish or texture or anything like that, then don't go the opposite way like I'm doing. Just bend it around kind of your finger to loosen it up the same way that it's going to be contouring around your wrist. And that should make it much more pliable and easy to wear from wear number one. And speaking of wear number one, how the heck are we doing? What a cool look. I mean, we're going to do some side-by-sides and stuff here. So you can see bracelet versus strap, exactly what's going on. This is why I like ordering extra long straps or straps custom made to your size wrist. Because under here, on a standard strap, this buckle on my 8-inch wrist would probably be clear over here. And it wouldn't be viewable from the top. But from a wearability perspective, this is just so much more comfortable and proper. It feels like it's the difference between a custom tailored suit that you got from somebody who really knows what they're doing and, you know, the off the rack suit that you rented from the tuxedo shop because you needed something for a wedding. I am kind of in love with this strap. And see how that little extra crackling stuff that got added in there? I love that extra character. I added that on purpose by bending this strap backwards and kind of breaking the finish along some edges and things like that. I love worn leather and things that show a little bit of patina. So I did that. That was my personal preference. The leather had character. The waxed leather had plenty of character to begin with. So if you wanted to keep it that way, I wouldn't blame you. This is all a personal preference thing. And let's be honest, like if it wasn't a personal preference thing, this watch is better for the masses on the bracelet, right? But for me, this is going to be a much more enjoyable wearing experience. Not to mention, it lightens everything up quite a bit. If this was my everyday watch, it probably would have stayed on the bracelet, but it's not, so it isn't. And this is just a fantastic look at what the good people at Handdn are doing. Now, am I crazy for speccing a $109 custom strap for a $300 AliExpress watch? Maybe. But what I say is that if you're going to get $109 worth of joy out of this, then it's worth every single penny. Let's do some final thoughts. Let's go, baby. Look at that. I mean, this thing has character for days now. If you're looking for a high-quality leather strap, I urge you to get creative and take advantage of this Handdn custom strap program. If you didn't add any of those little extra $5 here or there features, this is a $94 US watch strap made to your spec and your measurements. It's really hard to beat that, especially because when you're looking at high-quality leather straps to begin with, without going into exotic materials and things like that, you're looking in the $60, $80, $100 price point range pretty regularly. And a lot of the times they go higher than that. So this is going to be right in that same price range, only you get to flex a little bit of your own creative muscle, create something that nobody else has. They even give you the option to stamp some text into the back of the strap if you want to. I didn't on this one. I probably should have, but you could, and that makes it definitely something that's never going to be created by anyone else. A true one-of-one watch strap for right around $100 that matches whatever watch, whatever vision you have in mind that you want to see on your wrist. That's getting to you within, I don't know, it was like a week or two. Like the turn times were really fast. I received this pretty quickly after ordering. So definitely, the specs are spot on. The materials are high quality. The way that they are constructed and made, I mean, I'm not going to say second to none because as with anything, you could spend 5 or 10 times the price and probably get something with better build quality or higher quality materials or things like that. But for a typical high quality watch strap that's going to add a bunch of character and give you a look that you're not going to find off the shelf, I don't know if there are much better values than the Handdn custom strap program. Take a look at that. There's a link down in the description. Not a sponsored link. I paid for all this myself. I just like their product and I like what they're doing. I hope you do too. If you want to take a look at this watch review, that link is also down in the description. And if you're still here, give me a follow, subscribe to the channel, toss a like on this thing. We just hit monetization and that stuff really, really helps. So thank you in advance. Much appreciated. And we'll see you guys next time.